All right. So for those of you who are listening at home, hi Megan. Sorry about that. I completely forgot to record the first part of this. Let me give you the 30-second summary. Our task is to graph and analyze this. We established it's a parabola because one variable is squared and one is not. But it's not in the right form, so we had to get it in vertex form. So we're completing the square by setting it equal to 0, canceling the c and leaving it blank, undistributing the a. And by the way, when I'm talking about a and c, this is ax squared plus bx plus c. So if I'm talking about a and c, that's what I'm talking about. So cancel the c, leave it blank, undistribute the a, compress this into a binomial squared, square the first, double the product, square the last. So it looked like this. We got the 5 from the double product, we undoubled it, then square the last is 25, and we have, there's extra 25 here, put it on the other side, but it's negative 2 times bigger than we thought it was, so add negative 50, ta-da. Then instead of solving for x, we want to put it back in vertex form, which looks like this. Y equals a parentheses x minus h, parentheses squared plus k. I want it to look like that. That means you get the answer back to 0. Subtract 2, ta-da. Now put the y back where you found it, and make this minus. And you missed my goof earlier, so ask somebody else if you're curious. But the vertex is -5, -2, and the height multiplier is -2. And that's almost as far as we've got. So, there, ta-da. Height multiplier is -2. Can somebody tell me how to find the axis of symmetry? There are 2 ways, depending on the form you start with. Let me see. Katie, how do you find the axis of symmetry? Now, it's totally up to you. You can either start with the original thingy, or you can start with the vertex form thingy. Say again, I'm sorry? There you go. You can use the x coordinate. There's 2 ways to find the axis of symmetry. It's x equals h, if it's in vertex form. Can somebody give me the formula if it happens to be in standard form? Negative e over 2a, good. That's if it's in standard form. So in this particular case, what is it? X equals what? X equals -5, good. Does that make sense? That's the first part of the vertex, and it's also your axis of symmetry. They'll need that. Make sure it's x equals. How do you find c? Last here. Shelley, take over. What's the formula for c, the focal move, on a parabola?
1 divided by 4. 4a.
1 over 4a, correct. The radical a squared minus b squared is for ellipses. This is for parabolas. Make sure the a is on the denominator. It's not 1/4 times a. It's 1 over 4a, which in this case, by the way, you don't have to have it in either form. You notice a is the same, -2, no matter what form it's in. A is going to be the same no matter what. So while you're at it, go ahead and calculate that for me, Jen.
It'd be 1 over 4 times 8.
So what is that?
-1.
Yeah, -1/8. The focal move is -1/8. That actually tells you 2 things. First, but can somebody refresh my memory? Sam, how many foci does a parabola have?
2. 1. 3.
That's it, go ahead.
2.
On the ellipse has 2.
1.
It has 1, correct. A focus is like a center of gravity. I admit, yeah. For those of you listening at home, if you turn up the volume really, really high, you might be able to hear what we're reacting to. If you don't bother. They mean well. -1/8. Now back to topic. A focal move is where the focus is going to move. Now with an ellipse, they're moving two different ways. So you don't have to worry about, is it only going to the left or going to the right? So it's doing both. Here with a parabola, it's either gonna move one way or the other. There's only one. Which way is this gonna move? Is it gonna move up, or is it gonna move down? Josh? Down. What tells you? The fact that the focal move is negative means it's moving down. How far? Yeah, 1/8 of a space down. Starting from where? Josh? Yeah, from where is that moving? Like, where do you start moving from? The vertex, correct. The focal move is moving the focus away from the vertex. Normally it moves from the center, but a parabola doesn't have a center. The only closest thing we have is a vertex. So it's going to move 1/8 space down from the center. Now I'm saying it. From the vertex. So where is it? Tell me the coordinates. Right there. What comma what? Definitely -5, comma what? Now start here and move down 1/8 of a space. Is that gonna make it more negative or less negative? More. So what would it be? You can use a mixed number if you absolutely must. Oh, okay. Well, for example, if you're down, this is -5, -2. I'm gonna do an actual graph in a second. So here's the vertex, and it's gonna be below it, right? This is -2. And if you go 1/8 of a space below that, where is that? What's the height? -2 and 1/8, that's one way to put it. Give me a fraction for that. Yeah, I remember the trick for that. Oh, if you kind of like give you, it's like 2 times 8 is 16 plus 1 is, yeah, so what is it? Negative, you said it. -17 over 8, yeah. The focus is -5, comma, -17 over 8. This is 1/8 of a space below -2. So it's basically -2 minus an extra 1/8. Would I mark it wrong if you put -2 and 1/8? No, no. I do prefer -17/8 because if they have you do any math beyond that, it's easier if it's a fraction. Directrix. First of all, what kind of shape is a directrix? It's a line. So it's not going to be something comma something. It's going to be an equation. In this particular case, is it going to, oh, by the way, I should have done this. There's a focus like right below here. Where's the directrix? Where would I look for it physically?
It's gonna be right above the vertex.
Right above. How far above?
1/8.
1/8 of a space. Can you give me the equation for that line?
It'd just be y is equal to
Yep.
1
1
and 7/8.
and 7/8. So positive or negative?
Negative.
Yeah, -1 and 7/8. And then give it to me in a fraction.
8 plus 7, 15.
Yeah, one word missing.
Negative.
-15 over
8.
Good. So y equals -15/8. And you were done. Does that make sense? If they don't give you vertex forms, use complete the square to get vertex form. By the way, how do you get vertex form without completing the square? Method number 2. Find the axis of symmetry. And you actually did. X equals -b, by the way, I'm going to do this, -20 over 2a. So this is +20 over -4, which is -5. So the axis is x equals -5. That means that the vertex is -5 comma something. How do you find the something, Austin? I've got the x value. How do you get the y? I'm sorry.
Oh, we input the x.
Right, plug it in. Plug it into the original equation. So it's going to be negative 2 times negative 5 squared plus negative 20 times negative 5 plus negative 52. Now it's kind of big. By the way, what do you do first, math people? Oh, Becca. Do you multiply first or exponent first?
Exponent.
Exponent. So what's negative 5 squared?
25.
Good. 25 times negative 2?
Negative 50.
Good. Negative 50 plus, what would this be?
100.
Good. What is negative 50 plus 100?
50.
50. What's 50 plus negative 52?
Negative 2.
Got it. Negative 5, negative 2. And sure enough, that agrees with our previous answer. Once you get that, everybody look up here. That's great for graphing, but I want it in vertex form. If you have the vertex, and if you have the height multiplier, you can put it in vertex form. So it's just going to be y equals a, which is negative 2, parentheses x minus negative 5 squared plus negative 2. As long as I have the vertex and the height multiplier, you can make your own vertex form without completing the square. So whichever method you like best, they both work. Completing the square, good exercise for one thing. Disadvantages to both. Completing the square gets the x and the y right away. Finding the axis of symmetry finds the axis of symmetry right away, which you need as part of your analysis anyway. So it's a horse apiece. So take your favorite. Does that make sense? Alrighty. Take out your worksheet, and hopefully everybody's scratched off the word hyperbola and put parabola. Turn over to the other side. Number 5 and number 6 are in what I would call messed up form. You have to get it in one of the two forms, standard form or vertex form, in order to make the analysis work and in order to make the graph work. If it's not in the right form, you got to do that first. So like some number 5. How would you, Nate, do it?
Repeat the question.
Welcome back. On number 5, how would you get it in the right form? Like, what would you do physically, mathematically? Grab my water. I need it either in standard form or vertex. Yeah. You could, but there's something you got to do even before that. Yeah. Because it's in totally messed up form. It's not standard form yet. Something you got to do first. Yeah. Get y by itself. For number 5 and for number 6 and for number 7, you got to get y by itself first. That's the highest priority. You cannot make it fly without a y by itself because you can't graph it without y goes by itself. Does that make sense? Let me call this up for a second. Yeah. And this was 6C-5. Yeah, let me take a look at number 7. It says graph and analyze. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. Hold off on number 7. I have not covered the notes on that yet. That's actually the notes for tomorrow. This is the homework that wouldn't die. So just do number 5 and 6 along with 1 and 4. So 1 and 4, I suggested that you started graphing. I'd like you to graph and analyze 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then on the back page, graph and analyze 5 and 6. But skip number 7 for now. We will bring it back tomorrow. There's a very good reason for that. You'll understand later. For now, just pretend number 7 doesn't exist. Any questions on anything we covered today? How to complete the square, how to analyze, how to find the focal move, how to find the focus. Everybody good to go? All right, you have the rest of you about 25 minutes. Go ahead and pound away at that. Come on over if you get stuck. Otherwise, enjoy. And for those of you listening at home, get well soon, or see See you soon, whatever the case is.